Good morning, good morning, good morning. You
Actually,
are
sir,
that Ankit?
I'm from the current block only.
Okay, okay, you are not that Ankit.
Yeah, right.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So, 1 minute, is that same? Yes. Anand, will you please once check if that scholar has joined or not? Because I'm not able to find the name. We were having two scholars, one scholar
Sure,
that is
sure.
Jasmine and one scholar Ankit, but this is different Ankit. Okay, just a minute. I'm taking the permission again back from you. Now, in the participant list, I'm not able to find the name. In the list of
Just a second.
participant, I'm not able to find the name.
I think he has not joined yet.
Okay, okay, okay. Might be possible he will join a bit later.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. If not joined, then it's okay. We can continue because we are already having other jobs to do. So no problem in that case. Okay, let me start with the course introduction. Let me start with the course introduction. So once, let me share my screen to you. Sharing the screen and yeah. First of all, you all are requested to update if audio video signals are okay. You all are requested to update if audio video signals are okay. Screen properly visible to you. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Like your energy. So SB101, we are talking about the course introduction part. Initially, everybody into the course introduction. If I'm talking about the first two blocks, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, some portion of the front end, and DSA you have completed already. Apart from this, we are having Java Standard Edition. The Java Standard Edition was something you have already done in JA111. And this block, especially the block number 24, in the JA111, you come across file operations also. You come across collection framework also. And in the construct week, I hope that you have done a project also. Yes or no? That's good. And definitely doing a project in the unit number 4, it's a pleasant experience. It was quite challenging also. But overall, those who have done, definitely for them, it was a splendid opportunity to learn how to design a project, etc. Faizan Mirza was there for you. He actually given a demo class also on the project. So JA111 is something that you have already done. Now we are into the next part. Here we are. This is SB101 batch. In the SB101 batch, especially, we will talk about some advanced concept of core Java. So far in the JA111, you have come across all the common concepts of Java programming. But here actually we will talk about especially the concept that are introduced in Java version 8. Whenever you are going to appear in any interview of Java programming, then nowadays it's a de facto standard that there is a very common question they are asking to you about the Lambda expression. They are asking you about the method references, functional interfaces, functional programming. Apart from that, what is database management system, how to connect to database, JDBC is there, ORM is there. That everything you are going to discuss or you are going to learn into the next 16 or 17 classes. What will be you after completion of the SB101? So I will say that like recently, you have been a Java developer who is capable to design a Java project using file system and your project is completely console based. After SB101, console will be there. But if I'm talking about size of project, then you can assume that size of the project is going to be at least 5 times than what you have already done in JA111. Apart from this, you will use this time database, advanced concept like JPA, Hibernate to design your project. So definitely this is going to be a super exciting journey for you. So is it clear what you will be after completion of SB 101? That's good. Then next part, you will be into the SB201 batch. So SB201 batch is having some different content. So when you will be there, then we will discuss about that. Coming to next, what you have learned is already discussed to you here particularly. We will talk about the functional programming. After functional programming, RDBMS and SQL is the another point that we will discuss. Then we will talk about JDBC, DAO pattern, ORM, that is called JPA Hibernate. And finally, there will be console-based Java project. 6 things are there. How exactly their organization is there. On the day number 1, we will talk about the first concept, generics. Okay. All you have used lambda expression, and because all you have used lambda expression, so I don't think there is anything wrong in assuming that you are already familiar with generics. Yes or no? That's good. Now listen, one fact. Onto the poll recently that we have launched, that how many of you have gone through the pre-class. Approximately 71% scholar has responded that they have gone through the pre-class. Did you find pre-class in the generic? Did you find generics in the pre-class? Well, your chat responses shows that many of you submitted false response that yes, I have watched the pre-class, because you are saying that generics was not a topic into the pre-class video. Mysterious it is. So everyone, before discussing the topic, the very first thing that I wanted to tell you, and this is a clear message to all of you, please never come into the class before watching pre-class. Why? Listen to me very, very carefully. Because some of the topics from this block number 25, some topics we may cover thoroughly into the pre-class, and whatever topic we have covered thoroughly into the pre-class, they will not be discussed into the live lecture. Those who have truly watched the pre-class, I think there should be no objection in the generics. Detailed discussion of approximately 15 minutes is already there in the pre-class. So very first thing, I'm not going to discuss generics with you. It was already given in the pre-class very, very elaborated way. So you have to watch the pre-class compulsorily. We are assuming that you have gone through the pre-class, and please do not ask, sir, please revise in brief. There is no brief. Topic is going to be detailed always. First topic is generics. The second topic is covariance and contravariance that we will discuss today. The third topic is functional programming, and fourth one is lambda expression. Today's class is going to be extremely important for you. The reason is very, very simple. Because the topics that I'm going to discuss to you, you can easily expect 1 to 2 questions in your interview. I'm not saying that in the first interview, I'm not saying in the second interview, but normally we can say that whenever you are going for placements, so it may be possible that you may clear into the third round, in the third attempt, or you may clear maybe into the 11th attempt. Anything can be possible, and definitely those who are cracking late, they are comparatively more knowledgeable than who are cracking early. So if you are giving 10 interview, then among the 10 interview, it's almost guaranteed that at least in the 3 to 4 interview, you will find 1 to 2 question from what I'm going to discuss today. So this is something that is already sufficient to explain you how important this class is. In the today's topic, contravariance, covariance, functional programming, and lambda expression is something that we will discuss. Then in the day number 2, again, the topic will be continued. We will talk about some inbuilt functional interfaces. They are going to be supplier, predicate, consumer, by consumer, etc., etc. But definitely on the day 1, there is no logic of discussing too much. Apart from that, topic of method reference will also be there. Then we will talk about day 3, stream API. Mainly the discussion will be on the intermediate operation and on the terminal operation. Day number 4, 5, 6, and 7, detailed discussion about SQL. Again, same thing. If you are facing 10 interviews, out of the 10 interviews, among the 9 interviews, you can expect SQL will be asked to you. Day number 8, 9, 10, we will talk about JDBC. As you can see in the image, that JDBC is all about connecting your Java application to the database. Extremely important concept. Why? Because this concept is going to be foundation for next 5 to 6 days. JPA Hibernate, you will understand. It's very convenient. It's very useful. But if I'm talking about the core concept, then definitely the core concept of JPA Hibernate actually lies in the JDBC. JPA Hibernate is going to reduce development time drastically, but definitely JDBC, JPA. Both are extremely important. And again, in the interview, you will definitely find questions from there. This is what exactly content we are having. Then I'm talking about some of the expectation, just summarizing, not going to read everything one by one because you are already full of instructions given to you maybe yesterday in the block intro call by senior management. So very first thing, definitely pre-class is compulsory. You have already seen the topic. I'm not going to discuss what is already covered in the pre-class thoroughly. Use laptops. Please never use mobile phone because we are doing coding. So I don't think that you will be able to remember the syntaxes or you will be even able to watch the syntaxes clearly on the mobile phone. Regarding the doubts, your doubts are welcomed. Your doubts will be answered by or IA and PIs. If required, then definitely I will answer your doubt also. But one thing that is requested, whenever some doubt is there, if you are writing doubt one time, perfect. Possibly we may miss. If you are writing two type, acceptable. But even after two time, if we are not answering, then might be your doubt is not relevant to current class or might be your doubt is completely hypothetical. So you are requested to write your doubt maximum for the two times. If in the two times you are not getting answer, then we can talk about that doubt separately into the IA stand-up. Do not write it repeatedly. It is not going to make sense, but it is turning irritating for everyone. Next point regarding the feedback, definitely you have to give your honest feedback and feedback is required to be constructive, please. This is something that is requesting. IA stand-up, compulsory, 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 you have to attend. Otherwise, IA stand-ups, because see, in the IA stand-up, we may discuss something good for you. I'm not saying we will discuss something new for you, but we may discuss something that is very good for you. And attending IA stand-up always give a better clarity on the concept. Next thing, assignment should be completed on time and please do not go for any kind of plagiarism because in the last block, recently we have actually failed 5 scholars due to plagiarism. So please do not do this. Last but not the least, very important point. Whatever we are covering in the class, that is important. But one more thing is there in the assignments. Possibly chances are there that you will find something that we have not covered in the class. For such topics, you have to be in the DIY mode, means do it yourself mode. For your help, maximum what we can do, we can provide you supporting material or we can provide you supporting links. You have to visit the links, you have to read from the links, then you have to attempt the assignment. So this time this will not be the case that sir, something you have not covered, how you can give the assignment. We are having authority to give the assignment, but definitely whatever support is required, that support we will provide you. So this is something that is expected from your side. Is that okay? Or any ask? Seems so silence. Excitement is down. Anxiety is high. So overall, you are going to be a backend developer such that the backend developer is right now working on the console. Second thing, do not rely on the recording. Please do not rely on the recording. Only in case of emergency, you can talk about that I will cover from the recording. Otherwise, there is no logic. One more announcement, those who are from the async students, lot of topics have been changed in the SB 101. Some topics has removed, some topic have added new. So those who are async, do not think that this is going to be an easy block for you. Lot of new concepts are there. So please bear with us. So everyone, this is what instructions from my side. Now, formally, I am asking permission to you. Shall I proceed for the content of today? That's good. Keep your energies high. Do not feel disappointed. Do not feel disgusting. Do not feel like what exactly this is, content is changed, etc., etc. Ultimately, everything is for your welfare. So one part is done. Let me talk about the content of today. SB 101, day number 1. See everybody, the very first thing. I'm going to directly discuss about the concept of covariance and contravariance to you. And this is a topic that I don't think very good to teach from the PPT. Directly, I'm going to take an example for you. The very first thing that I'm asking to you, anyone, can you tell me, well, first thing, have you covered this topic in JA111? Covariance, contravariance. Have you covered this topic in J111? No. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Just for the clarity, I was asking. Now just bear with me. This is going to be slightly tough, but very interesting concept for you. And for the interview point of view, this is extremely important. Let me show you how important this is. When I appear in the interview at Masai School, then this was the first question that was asked to me. So I think now this is clear to all of you that how important this is. Yes or no? Okay. So first of all, let me open STS. STS is already opened here. Lot of files are there. Always there are used to be lot of files. You all know how to create project into the STS. New Java project. Name of project, it will be good to write down SB 101, block number 25. And first of all, definitely it's good to create a package. Name of the package I'm writing is com.masai school. Let me write down the name, that is sprint_01. Package naming convention. I hope everybody is familiar. Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's good. In reverse, first of all, top level domain. After the top level domain, whatever be the name of the website, and after name of the website, then whatever be the project. Normally we used to go with com.masai, but actually our website is masaischool.com. So that's why I used to write down com.masaischool. Now here, let me create one class. Name of the class that I'm writing is contra variance demo. Yeah. Full screen it is. I'm directly writing the main method. Here everyone, just one by one, some points I'm asking you. You have already gone through the wrapper classes. Into the wrapper class, I think you are already comfortable that there is a class available. Name of class is called number class. Below the number class, lot of classes are available. Like there is class available integer class. There is one more class available called float class. There is class available called double class. I think this hierarchy is clear to all. Yes or no? Initially, we are having number class. Below the number class, there is integer class available. There is double class available. And definitely in Java programming, whenever we are talking about parent of all classes, then can we say that object is the parent class of all class? Perfect. 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 Now let me come here once. Actually, parallelly, I would love to use the Notepad++ also for your convenience. So opening the Notepad++, then control and okay. This is the hierarchy that is available to me. There is one straight point that you have already read, that a superclass reference variable can point to child class object. Because a superclass reference variable can point to child class object, so according to this principle, for example, let's say if I am writing this statement, then definitely you will say that, sir, here if I'm talking about this number, or let's say renaming this num, if I'm talking about this num, then definitely this num is a reference variable of class number. This num is a reference variable of class number. But on the other hand, if I'm talking about the object, then definitely object is of class integer. Make sense? Yes or no? Clear it is. And definitely this syntax is perfectly okay. Why the syntax is perfectly okay? Because a superclass reference variable can point to child class object. Because the superclass reference variable can point to child class object, I am writing the rule also. A superclass reference variable points to child class object. This is the rule you have already gone through. So here in this line, if I'm talking about reference variable num, then definitely the reference variable num is of type number, that is of super type. But if I'm talking about integer dot value of, then the integer dot value of is going to return an object of type integer. As you have already seen in the hierarchy, number is the superclass, integer is the subclass, superclass reference variable can point to child class object. So definitely this statement is perfectly okay. Clear it is till this part? Be active on chat, everyone. If anywhere you are facing difficulty, you are requested to write on chat, but do not sit idle. This cannot be accepted if you are sitting idle. So far, I have not started SB101. This is J111 content. Still very less responses are there. Now let me change the situation. When I'm changing the situation, so for example, let's say that if I am writing number num arr square bracket equal to new number square bracket, and then here I am writing the point that is 3. Let me write down the point here. I am writing here 3. So simple question that I'm asking to you. Here, how many objects are created? Write on chat, how many objects are created in the line number 11? Hurry up, please. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So, well, multiple responses are there. And as expected, if I'm talking about how many objects are created, many of the scholars are writing that 3 objects are created, which is absolutely wrong and incorrect. If I'm talking about how many objects are created, then definitely I am creating an array of references. So practically, if I'm asking you that any object of number class is created, then definitely answer will be no. It is an array of references. Because it is an array of references, so definitely no object of number class is created. Well, you need to work on J8111 content still. Everyone, if I'm writing here number square bracket 0 equal to integer dot value of and into the integer dot value of, if I'm writing first value that is 10, case number 1, then I'm talking about case number 2. On the index number 1, I'm writing here float dot value of 15.5, and then I'm writing again, let's say that index number 2. Into the index number 2, I'm writing here byte dot value of, converting the value into the byte type, and then I'm assigning here value, let's say 0. Let me show you with the help of diagram. If I'm talking about num arr, then definitely num arr is actually a reference variable. Num arr0, this is a reference variable. Num arr1, this is a reference variable. Num arr2, this is a reference variable. Accordingly, if I wanted to draw the same thing with the help of diagram, then see, can I draw this thing somewhat like this? Yes or no? Just I'm talking about line number 11. For the line number 11, number num arr square bracket equal to new number 3. Can I say that an array of 3 elements is going to be created? Yes or no? Then here, when I'm talking about integer dot value of 10, so definitely somewhere an object will be there and the object is having content 10. Let's say if I'm talking about hash code of this memory location, it is 8569. So definitely 8569 is available here. Make sense, everybody? How exactly I'm drawing the content? Then I'm writing 7542. So definitely content will be here. Then I'm talking about one more object. This object I'm writing is going to be okay. So with this diagram, is that clear, everyone? One point, very, very carefully. If I'm talking about this memory location, then definitely this memory location is going to be continuous because it's an array. But if I'm talking about remaining 3 objects, then the 3 objects that is containing value 10, 15.5 and 0, they are 3 different objects. Because they are 3 different objects, so definitely their memory locations can be separate. Make sense, everyone? Yes or no? This diagram clear or not? Please update your response. Understood it is? So can I say that a superclass reference variable can point to child class object. This rule is applicable in case of array also. Even if I'm creating an array of reference variable, then definitely every reference variable of the array can point to object of subclass also. Is that okay? That's good. Now let me change the situation. When I'm changing the situation, and this time let's say I'm writing integer int arr square bracket equal to curly braces open 10, 15, 20, 25. How many elements are there? You will say there, sir, 4 elements are there. If I'm talking about the 4 elements, then definitely data type of all 4 elements is integer. Data type of all 4 elements is integer. When data type of all 4 elements is integer, so definitely first location is having 10, next location is having content that is 15. Third location is going to have the content 20, and definitely the fourth location is going to have the final content. The content is going to be 20. And according to the same concept, can I say that first is going to be int arr 0, then int arr 1, then int arr 2, and this is going to be int arr 3. This diagram clear, everyone, for this piece of code? Yes, it is. Okay. Can I say that if I'm talking about int arr, then practically int arr is going to be a reference variable such that the reference variable is actually pointing to the array. The reference variable is actually pointing to the array. So if I'm talking about hash code of this memory location, then let's say I'm saying that hash code of this memory location is this one. Hash code of this memory location is this one. This diagram also clear that int arr is a reference variable. Then this complete memory location is for the array. And in this array, we are having 4 elements. So you can call this is at index number 0, this is at index number 1, index number 2, and index number 3. Simple question I am asking you. If I'm talking about data type for this memory location, then can I say that the data type for this memory location is going to be of type integer? Yes or no? Simple logic. Simple logic. Yes, everything is object. In Java programming, you know that array is an object. And one more thing, here I am not writing the primitive type int. Here I am writing integer, which is a wrapper class. So can I say that auto boxing is going to play its own role? Remember auto boxing, auto unboxing. Yes, it is. That's good. So this time, int arr is the reference variable that is pointing to this memory location. And if I'm talking about data type for this memory location, then definitely data type for this memory location is going to be of type integer. Perfect, no problem. Into the same direction, if I'm writing here number num arr, already I think I have used this name. Yes, already I have used this name. Okay, let me write down num arr2 equal to int arr. This time, can I say that I am assigning an array of subtype to the array of super type? Yes or no? Assigning an array of subtype to the array of super type. So very first thing, the doubt is coming, is that statement okay? So let us try to execute this statement. I am on STS. Onto the STS, first of all, an array is created. And after creating this array, if I'm writing this code, any compile time error? No. If there is no compile time error, then can we say this statement is working perfect? Yes, it is. And if this statement is working perfect, so the rule that a superclass reference variable can point to child class object. This rule is applicable on array also. Make sense? Make sense? So on behalf of this point, can I say, okay, so definitely an array of subtype can be assigned to an array of super type. An array of subtype can be assigned to an array of super type. Now let me perform some operations. While performing some operations, for example, if I'm writing here system.out.println num arr2 square bracket 0, can we expect that the output is going to be 10? Yes or no? Simple logic. I'm performing the reading operation. I'm performing the reading operation. When I'm performing the reading operation, I'm printing system.out.println num arr square bracket 0. I'm getting the output 10. Perfect it is, no problem, working 100% okay as of now. Now let me go to the next case. Into the next case, what exactly I am writing? Num arr 2 square bracket 0 equal to value, let's say I am writing 100. So this time I am actually writing value of integer type, or can I say that I am writing the value of basically subtype? Yes or no? Can I say this statement? Yes, it is. If the writing operation is successful, there is no compile time error, then can I expect that output of line number 12 is going to be 100? Yes, it is. Let us try to run this code. Alt Shift X J. Output is 100. So simple point is that yes, it's okay to allow. Okay, an array of subtype can be assigned to array of supertype. If I'm talking about the reading operation, then definitely reading operation is allowed, no problem. On the other hand, if I'm talking about the writing operation, seems like writing operation is also allowed. But before talking about writing operation, before going for any conclusion, let me talk about one more case. When writing about one more case, so this time I am writing num arr2 square bracket 0 equal to 100.0. When I am writing 100.0, so according to the concept, a superclass reference variable can point to child class object. So compiler is not producing any error, which is 100% reasonable. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. So if everything is okay, then definitely output of next statement is going to be 100.0. Yes or no? Or if I'm writing 100.5, then output is going to be 100.5. Make sense? Yes, it is. Let us try to run this code and please welcome the error message. And please welcome the error message. Can you see name of the error message? Java.lang.array store exception. And it says that you are trying to assign a double value. You are trying to assign a double value. So let me explain you this part, what exactly went wrong. Let me explain you this part, what exactly went wrong. Now let me come back to the discussion or come back to the diagram again. Just one by one, move step by step. When I was reading the value, then definitely reading value is not a problem because a superclass reference variable point to child class object. When I'm writing the value 100, so simple question. If I'm talking about data type of this memory location, then data type of this memory location is integer. And if you are writing an integer value, then definitely there is nothing wrong. Make sense? Using the statement num arr 2 square bracket 0 equal to 100 when you are writing. So you will say, sir, on this location, I am trying to change the value. If I'm talking about the data type of this memory location, then data type of this memory location is integer and the value that I'm writing is also integer. That's why there is no conflict. Make sense? What happened, batch? Any rocket science? Rocket science? No? So why you are so silent? I don't think that I have taught you something extremely difficult. Just step by step, I'm going on with example to you. So if I'm talking about the writing operation, then definitely writing operation is allowed. But if value is of same type, if the value is of same type as the array is the discussion clear? Reading operation is perfectly allowed. Writing operation is allowed, but if the value is of same type as the type of array is. But in the third case, when you are trying to add the value that is 100.5, so definitely compiler is checking. Superclass reference variable can point to child class object. We are having a reference variable of number class, but we are having object of double class. According to the compiler, everything is okay. Why everything is okay? Because just simple question I am asking you. Can you tell me object is created at compile time? Option number 1, or it is created at runtime? Option number 2. Type your answer, please. Definitely. An object is going to be created at runtime. So now listen to me very, very carefully. If I'm talking about the data type of this array is of primitive type or it is of object type. Option number 1, it is primitive type. Option number 2, it is of object type. It is of object type. So very, very common sense based thing. Sir, object is created at runtime. And if something is going to be created at runtime, then how compiler will identify its exact type? Not possible. Make sense? Because object is created at runtime. So definitely by looking at a statement, compiler just can check that there is a superclass and subclass relationship. So compiler says from my side statement is okay. But compiler is not able to check what exactly the type of element is. That's why compiler is allowing this writing operation. But can you say that runtime system is very smart? Runtime system is saying, okay, you can fool the compiler, but you cannot fool the runtime system, because runtime system is checking what is the data type of this array is and what exactly value you are assigning. Getting my point? Yes, it is. So according to this principle, can I say that whenever it is the case of array, so definitely you can fool the compiler, but you cannot fool the runtime system. Make sense? Let me write down one more case that will give you more clarity. For example, let's say here, if I'm writing the value Masai, then this time definitely compiler is producing error. Yes or no? Because compiler is capable to still see that there is no inheritance relationship between the number and the string. So because there is no inheritance relationship, so this type of error can be detected at compile time. Make sense? This is something you can call. This is a compile time error. Yes, this is a compile time error. But next time when you are actually performing the operation, so here actually you will find that there is no compile time error. There is no compile time error. But if I'm talking about the error, then definitely error is available at runtime. But error is available at runtime. So listen, here what I was telling you, writing operation allowed if the value is same type of the array. Writing operation not allowed if the value is of different type, and particularly it will be say that not even of any subtype, not even of any subtype. In this condition, definitely this is going to produce a compile time error. If I'm talking about the third case, writing operation not allowed if value is of a subtype, but not of array data type. Then in this condition, can I say that compile time, this is okay. But if I'm talking about the runtime, then at the runtime, this is going to produce an error. Please go through all these 3-4 lines. Then I will proceed. Statement number 1. Then I'm going to talk about statement number 2, statement number 3, and statement number 4. Please go through all 4 statements. Then everybody. So first thing is clear. Now on the behalf of these last 3 lines, I'm talking about the point number 2, 3, and 4. On the behalf of last 3 point, can I say that what exactly data type information is, or what is the data type of array, or it will be good to say, if I'm talking about the type information about the array, then data type related information about the array is available to the compiler also, as well as it is available to the runtime system also. Repeating my word again, data type related information about the array is available to the compiler also, as well as it is available to the runtime system also. Writing this word, I think it will help you a lot. So if I'm talking about the data type information, this is something that is also called type information. So type information about the array is available to the compiler as well as to the runtime system also. This is the line that I have written in justification. Can you see line number 13? In the line number 13, there was error. Why there was error? Because if I'm talking about the reference type and if I'm talking about object type, they were not compatible. So can I say that compiler is having information about the data type of array? Yes or no? Second thing, if I'm talking about the line number 15, in case of the line number 15, you can see one thing that's here in the line number 15. We are capable to make the compiler fool. Compiler is checking the type information. While checking the type information, compiler can only check super type and subtype, but it cannot check exact type of the array because array is created at runtime. So you are making the compiler fool in the line number 14. But if I'm talking about the runtime system, because runtime system is already having the information about the data type of the array, that's why runtime system crashes your program. It gives you array store exception. Now this line is justified that data type information about the array is available to compiler as well as to the runtime system. Clear or not? Clear it is. That's why. So listen to me very, very carefully. I'm going to give you one new terminology. The new terminology is actually referred as refiable type. Look at the spelling. It is refiable type. So listen to me very, very carefully. What is the meaning of refiable type? Refiable type refer to all the object, or you can say that refiable type refer to all the data structure whose type information is available to compiler also as well as to the runtime system also. So accordingly, can we say that array is a refiable type? Make sense? So first pointer clear, everybody? What is the meaning of refiable type? This is part number 1 of the explanation. This is part number 1 of the explanation. Clear, everyone? Or do you need one summarization? Update your response. If it is clear, then type 1. If you need summarization again, then type 2. That's good. Everybody needs summarization as expected. As expected. Just go step by step. First line. Object is superclass of all class. Then number class is there. Below the number class, multiple classes are available there. One rule is there that a superclass reference variable can point to child class object. According to this principle, if I'm creating a reference variable of class number, then definitely the reference variable of class number can point to object of integer. There is no problem. Here in this case, num is the reference variable of class number, but object is of class integer. First part, first subpart. Any doubt till here? If everything is clear, then type 1. If everything is clear till this part, then please type 1. If any issue, then you can type 2, but I don't think there will be any issue. That's good. That's good. Now I am applying the same concept in case of the array also. When I am applying the same concept in case of array also, so into the line number 11, I am creating an array of reference of type number such that the size of array is 3. It is an array of references. No object is actually created. In the line number 15, to the reference variable of number, that is num arr square bracket 0, we are assigning a value of integer type. Then num arr square bracket 1, we are assigning a value of float type. Then num arr square bracket 2, we are assigning a value of byte type. So this time can I say that's a reference variable. All the 3 reference variable are of same type, but all the 3 reference variables, they are pointing to object of different subtype. Till this part, this is second subpart. Second subpart is clear for all. If any doubt, then you can write on chat also. Now let me come to the third subpart. Into the third subpart, one scholar is asking for line number 17. Actually, listen. I think might be Sanjay, you are facing difficulty why this typecasting is there. So listen, if I'm talking about 0, then 0 is by default belong to integer type. If you are going to compile here, then it will show you an error message that cannot convert integer to byte. This is what message it is going to show you. So to overcome this problem, you need to perform this typecasting. That's all. Now let me come to third subpart. Into the third subpart, I have created an array of integers, integer object. When I have created an array of integer object, then I have created 4 elements. You know it very well. In Java programming, array is implemented in the form of object. So if I'm talking about the memory location for 4 elements, can I say this memory location is actually object that is referred by reference variable? Yes or no? Here, can I say int arr is a reference variable that is pointing to an object that is containing 4 integer elements. Can I explain it like this? Clear, everyone? So this time, can I say that data type of this array is actually of integer type? This time, the data type of array is actually of integer type. Perfect. Into the line number 34, I am creating an array of number type, and to the array of number type, I am directly assign int arr. And we have cross-check in the line number 6 into the STS that this code is working 100% okay. So according to this principle, can we say that array of subtype can be assigned to array of super type? Yes or no? Perfect it is. Good. In the line number 26, what I did, I am creating an array of integer object. When I'm creating an array of integer objects, so for the sake of understanding, you can say that sir, an array of 4 element is going to be created. The array of 4 element is having 4 integer values. So according to this principle, if I'm talking about data type of this memory location, data type of this memory location is going to be of integer type. And int arr is a reference variable that is pointing to this memory location. Line number 35, when we perform the assignment, then assignment is working perfectly okay. So we come across the conclusion that an array of subtype can be assigned to an array of super type. This statement is verified. So right now, after this assignment, can I say one thing that if I am talking about num arr2 and if I'm talking about int arr, they both are pointing to same object? Yes or no? The reference variable int arr and the reference variable num arr2 both are pointing to same memory location. Is that clear, everyone? Simple object reference assignment it is. You have already done in J111. Yes, it is. Now we are talking about the next part about the reading and writing operation. See, everybody, it's very common sense based thing that sir, if we are performing the reading operation, then definitely there will be no problem. Why there will be no problem? Because it is guaranteed that the value in the array is going to be of type number or it is going to be of subtype of the number. If it is of type number or if it is of subtype of the number, then definitely there is no problem because superclass reference variable point to child class object. So in the reading operation, there is no confusion. Clear or not? Perfect it is. Everyone, reading operation clear? Why there is no problem in reading operation? Good one. Second, if I'm talking about the second statement, into the second statement, if I am writing value using the super type reference, but when value I am writing is of same type. So see, compiler is saying super class reference variable point to child class object. So compiler says statement is okay. Now the ball is in the court of runtime system and runtime system is checking 100. 100 is a value of type integer. It is going to be written at this memory location. What is the data type of this memory location? It is integer, 100% compatible. And if it is 100% compatible, then definitely there is nothing wrong in writing the value of subtype if the subtype and array type, they are same or compatible. Make sense? So second statement is clear. Writing operation allowed if the value is of same type as the array is. Is that statement okay? Perfect. Third case, when I was actually writing this statement, then in this statement, compiler is producing compile time error. Can I say that, sir, the type information that is available to compiler, it says that it is a reference variable of number, but the object is of type string. So this is incompatible. Because this is incompatible, so definitely compiler is going to produce error. Yes or no? So if you are assigning any incompatible value, then definitely compiler is going to produce error. So writing operation is not allowed if the value is of different type and it is not of any subtype. Make sense? So can I say that into the third number point, there is compile time error. Now let me come to the last point. When I'm coming to the last point, that is num ARR2 square bracket 0 equal to 100.5. First of all, let me talk about the compiler. Compiler is checking reference variable is of number, object is of double, superclass subclass relationship is satisfied. If superclass subclass relationship is satisfied, then definitely compiler is not going to produce any error. Make sense? Yes, it is. But practically we are making the compiler fool. Why we are making the compiler fool? Because if I'm talking about the memory location, then the memory location belong to type integer. And on the integer memory location, I'm trying to write down a double value. Yes or no? So this is not allowed now. How you can do this? How can do compiler do this? So definitely you are making the compiler fool. And why exactly compiler is not producing any error? So listen very, very carefully, Krishna Kumar. Again, if I'm talking about this one, according to the concept of auto boxing, 100.5 will be converted to the object of double type. Yes or no? According to the concept of auto boxing, 100.5 will be converted to double type, and definitely this operation is going to take place at the runtime. And if this operation is going to take place at the runtime, so how exactly compiler come to know what memory location it was? How your compiler will come to know that this memory location is of integer type, because this information is available at runtime. Well, last point. When you are assigning 100.5, so in case of assigning 100.5, compiler says no problem. But when this information goes to the runtime, then runtime system is checking 100.5 is of double type. But if I'm talking about this portion, then definitely this memory location is of integer type. And on the integer type memory location, you cannot write down a value of double type. That's why compiler is fool this time, but runtime system is very smart, and runtime system is going to produce an exception. The exception is going to be array store exception. Is that okay? All four operation clear? I'm spending a lot of time. This concept slightly takes some time to cement, and some revision is also required. Some repetition is also required. Okay. So one thing, one thing, one thing. Listen. Well, 1 second. Krishna Kumar, you are allowed to talk once you please unmute, because I think you are still not clear.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Are you clear with this concept, or shall I repeat something?
No, sir. I think I'm clear.
You are clear? That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. So last line is that according to the point number 2, 3, and 4, it is 100% okay to say that data type related information about an array. It is available to the compiler also, as well as it is available to the runtime system also. That's why even if you are making the compiler full, still you will not be able to skip the runtime system. You will not be able to perform any invalid writing operation. So why this is happening? Because array is referred as refiable data type. The meaning of refiable data type is the data structure whose type information is available to compiler also, as well as to the runtime system also. So because array is a refiable data type, that's why you cannot perform invalid writing. Is that okay, everyone? First part, I hope this is clear to everyone now. Please update your response, hurry up. This is first part of covariance, contravariance. This is first part of covariance, contravariance. Like we are having refiable type. Similarly, now I will talk about one more concept that is called non-refiable type. And apart from the non-refiable type, I will talk to you about one more term That is called type eraser. What is the mean of type eraser is just try to understand. But before talking about this concept, let me write down one simple pointer for you. What exactly the simple point for you is? Just a second. See here, see here, see here. If I'm creating a list and such that this is a list of integer. So for example, let's say I'm writing list equal to new array list. And okay, one list is created, or if you wanted to assign directly in the form of arrays class, then definitely into the arrays class as list is available. So we are writing same element 10, 15, 20, and 25. Can I say I have created a list of 4 elements? Yes, it is. The elements are 10, 15, 20, and 25. 4 elements are there. List is created. Now second point. Because the superclass reference variable can point to child class object, and according to this concept, if I'm creating a list of number type, then definitely I can assign list of int to list of number. Yes or no? Before typing, just I'm asking, I can assign list of number type to list of integer to list of number type. Again, check. Can I do this? Can you observe some dangerous red line? Yes, it is. So can you see there is compile time error? And things are not in the same way as we were thinking. Things were not in the same way as we were thinking. So part 1, in case of array, you can perform this operation. But if I'm talking about the part 2, then in case of part 2, you cannot do this operation. Why you cannot do this operation? The logic is simply available in the type eraser principle. Again, if I'm talking about type information in case of collection framework, listen to me very, very carefully. In case of collections, type information is available to compiler only. As the program is getting compiled, then type information is simply, you can say that erased, or you can call simple deleted. So definitely the type information is not available to the runtime system. Please read this line very, very carefully. Please read this line very, very carefully. Have you gone through this line? Yes, it is. So according to this principle, can I say that collection is practically a non-refiable type? A refiable type is one whose type information is available to compiler as well as to the runtime system. A non-refiable type is one whose type information is available to compiler only, but it is not available to runtime system. Make sense, everyone? Type eraser says that once your collection is getting compiled, then definitely all the type information will be deleted. Why exactly they are doing? Because for the collection framework, maintaining the type information is actually very, very heavy. Listen to me very carefully. In case of collection framework, maintaining the type information is actually very, very heavy. That's why for the sake of performance, once the program is compiled, type information is deleted and collection become non-refiable type. Now getting why there is error at the line number 22. Now getting why there is error in the line number 22. My God, I think you are finding like it is the first over of your inning and the first ball is turning into bouncer of Shoaib Akhtar or Wasim Akram. Very much like the batch is behaving like this. So first point. You might ask that, sir, if compiler is already having type information and there is no compatibility issue, so definitely the code must compile. Yes or no? Think over the point. Compiler is having type information. We are not doing anything wrong in the line number 22. We are performing compatible assignment. When we are performing compatible assignment, so accordingly, there should be no compile time error, but program must run very, very smoothly. Yes or no? Seems logical? Seems logical, yes. Now try to understand the second case. Let's say if this line is valid, let's say, assume. So can I say that list num, if this line is valid, then can I say that list num is pointing to a list of integer? Yes or no? If this line is valid. Yes, it is. Okay, let me take this line into the notepad also. I think this will help you comparatively more. Okay, this code is available. This code is compile time error. So let me talk about this line number. I am writing it line number X. So what exactly the point I am writing is, say that line number X is valid. Say, assume. Actually, it is not valid, but say it is valid. Say this line is valid, then definitely can I say that if I'm talking about the reference variable list num, and if I'm talking about the reference variable list int, definitely both point to same object that is actually a list of integer. Yes or no? Can I say this thing? If line X is valid, then definitely list num and list int both point to same object that is of actually list integer. Okay. Now try to understand this point. The point is that if you are writing list num dot add 100. So sir, memory location is of integer type and I am writing the value of integer type. So definitely this thing seems okay. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Now if I'm writing the next value, let's say I'm writing 100.5. The list is of integer type, but I'm writing the value that is of double type. So it should be a runtime error. Comfortable everyone? It should be a runtime error, definitely. So those who are agree that this is going to be a runtime error, they are requested to read the line number 49 again. Those who are thinking that this is a runtime error, they are requested to read the line number 49 again. That's good, Vikas. So everybody, because collection is a non-refiable type, so being as a non-refiable type, definitely information is not available at the runtime system. Yes or no? And information is not available at the runtime system. So definitely runtime system will never be able to check whether you are writing a correct value or incorrect value. Yes or no? So can I say there are dangerous chances are there that you will ultimately end up with a class cast exception? Because you may be able to write multiple incorrect information into the list of integer. So now you are having two choices. The first choice, be ready to face the runtime error, be ready to get your project crash. Second information, better to not allow such kind of statement at the compile time. Which option is better? Option number one, getting the program crashed multiple times. Option number two, do not let such kind of statement compile. Clear everyone? That's good. So this is what actually the concept of contravariance is there. This is what exactly the concept of contravariance is there. This is exactly what the concept of type eraser is there. So accordingly, because your compiler is saying that, okay, if you are convincing me that you are doing the correct assignment, okay, I agree. But at the runtime system, in case of collection framework, no type information is available. And when there is no type information, so how at the runtime system can be sure that whether you are doing something right or wrong? There is no way to cross check. Because there is no way to cross check, so compiler says better not to compile such kind of statements. Getting my point, everyone? Why this statement is not working? clear everyone? This text file will also be shared to you. This also file will also be shared to you. Where can we get this notes? This notes will be attached to the today's lecture. Don't worry. So second part is also clear. What is the mean of type eraser is, what is the mean of non-refiable is, and why exactly this code is compile time error. That's good. That's good. That's good. Part 2 is clear to you. Okay. Now, if this thing is not allowed, then don't you think, sir, this is a big loss? Because we cannot use the concept of polymorphism. We cannot use the concept of superclass subclass, and definitely concept of superclass subclass is a very big power in Java programming. So if non-refiable is a matter, then polymorphic advantages completely lost for us. Yes or no? So problem statement is clear, everyone? Problem statement clear that we are stuck somewhere and we need some concept to overcome this kind of problem. And if you wanted to overcome this kind of problem, that's why we are going to discuss about the concept of covariance and contravariance. And the concept of covariance and contravariance is also termed as lower bound and upper bound in the terms of collection framework, not in the terms of complexity. You are from DSA also. So when in Java programming, if I'm talking to you about the upper bound and lower bound, today's lecture, then please think of it like covariance and contravariance only. Do not talk about complexity of the algorithm. This point clear? So, okay. So we are going to discuss about the concept that is called covariance, and one more concept we are going to discuss. This is called contravariance. Covariance is something that is called actually upper bound, and one more concept is available that is called contravariance. This contravariance is called lower bound. Sorry, not super bound. This is called actually lower bound. Okay. So I hope that with this discussion, your brain is feeling slightly heated and possibly it needs some rest. So because you people are actually already bothering so tough concept, so better to have a break till 12:45. See you then after we will discuss about this concept. Okay. Okay. So now, definitely this code is compile time error, but do we have any solution? I will say yes, we are having solution. And whenever I'm going to talk about the solution, so we will talk about the concept of contravariance that is called upper bound, and we will talk about the concept of covariance that is called lower bound. Now just try to understand the concept one by one, and I'm going to write down some syntax that you might have seen multiple times. Possibly you have seen some syntax like this also. Have you seen such kind of syntaxes? Only one scholar has seen. My God, situation is so pity then, if only one scholar has seen this. Well, this syntax is also something that you have seen. Okay, those who are saying that seen for the first time, have you gone through the collections class? Have you gone through collections class in J111? Okay, batch. So listen, if you have done U activities, if you have done the assignments, then multiple time you have used at least copy method. Can you see this copy method that is used to copy one list from the another list? And in this method, if I'm talking about the signature, then definitely into the signature, you can see that super keyword is also used. And apart from the super keyword, sub keyword is also used. Oh, suddenly it is actually turning. Yeah, this one. Can you see the syntax? Super is also available. Extends is also available. But the question is that I think you have not observed the syntax, because if the code is working, then let it work. Do not disturb this code. This is a common tendency that everybody is having. Well, and this is not the only method where exactly this thing is available. Such kind of thing is available in lot of methods. You can see collection question mark, so super collection question mark extends question mark extends. Then apart from that, lot of methods are available that are using the same syntax. Okay, let me come back to my discussion. So listen, overall first number point, the statement list of number list num equal to list int, this is a compile time error. And why this is a compile time error? The obvious reason is also told to you. What is the main source of problem? The main source of problem is that, sir, type information is not available at runtime. This is the main source of information, or this is the main cause of concern. Yes or no? Simple logic. Because type information is not available to the runtime system, that's why the statement is not working even at the compile time. By any mean, if we are capable to supply type information to the runtime, then definitely things will work for us. Yes or no? Yes, it is. By any mean, if we can provide type information to the runtime system, then definitely we can use such kind of syntax. Answer is yes. And for this thing, we are going to discuss about the concept of covariance and contravariance. Now listen to me very, very carefully. The syntax that I'm writing in front of you. The syntax that I'm writing in front of you is list. Initially, I'm keeping this angle bracket empty. Then I'm writing here list num equal to. Then again, I'm writing here list int. Obvious reason, this is a compile time error. Here, what syntax I'm writing? I'm writing question mark. Then I'm writing extends. And after extends, I'm writing here number. Line number 23. Is there any red line below that? Is there any red line? No. So can I say the syntax is working perfect? Can I say the syntax is working perfect? Yes, it is. Compile time, the syntax is working perfectly okay. No problem. Now let me talk about the read and write operation. If I'm talking about the read and write operation, so for example, for the reading, definitely I can use the get method. When I'm using the get method, so for example, I'm writing system.out.println. So I'm writing that the first element is plus, then paste this part and done. So if I'm talking about the first element is still there is no compile time error. And right now, actually, I have to make this a statement comment because otherwise program will crash at the top. So right click, running as Java application. The first element is 10. So can I say that reading operation is perfectly okay? Obviously, reading operation is working 100% okay. On the other hand, if I'm talking about the write operation, so you know it very well, there is a set method available. Into the set method, initially you need to define the index. For example, let's say on the index number 0, I wanted to set the element. This time the element that I wanted to set is 100. Can you see a red line is there? Can you see a red line is there? Yes. So reading is allowed, but writing is not allowed. Is that clear? Means it is visible that reading is allowed, but writing is not allowed. Clear it is. So listen, now just I'm talking about this syntax to you. Now I'm talking about this information to you. What exactly this information is, just try to understand the pointer. First of all, if you are writing question mark extends number, the meaning of writing question mark extends number is this list can point to list of number, or this list can point to any subtype of number. Getting my point? This list can point to list of number, or this list can point to any list of subtype of number. So even if I'm assigning list of integer, then it is okay. If I'm going to assign list of double, then it is okay. If I'm going to assign list of long, still it will be okay. So first line is clear. What is the mean of question mark extends number is? Yes, it is. So now this information, that is question mark extends number, this information is I'm writing by my own way. This information will be available to the compiler also, as well as the same information will be available to the runtime system also. Second point also clear? I'm writing here question mark extends number specified that this list can point to list of number, or list of any subtype. This is the first number point. Second thing, if I'm writing question mark external number, then definitely this information will be available to runtime system also. Both pointers clear, everybody? Go through the both pointers. Both points clear, yes or no? Comfortable, everybody? 2 pointers that I have written. Okay. The point number 3 I am writing. The point number 3 is that if I'm talking about the reading operation, then definitely reading operation is allowed. You can perform read operation, there is no problem. But the fourth number point, if I'm talking about the writing operation, then you can see that writing operation is not allowed. Now, why exactly writing operation is not allowed? This is very simple thing. If I'm talking about the original list, then can I say that original list is of integer type? Yes or no? Yes, it is. But when I'm trying to perform the write operation, then possibly chances are there that you may be writing some double value. You may be writing some long value. Chances, yes or no? Simple logic. When you are performing reading, then definitely at the time of reading, it is guaranteed that you are going to get an object of number or of its subclass. Then there is no problem. Then there is no problem. But at the time of writing, compiler is saying that if I allow this statement, then definitely there is only one ground to allow this statement. The ground is that superclass reference variable, child class object, this thing is allowed. But the problem is that compiler says, what is the type of actual list? I don't know. Yes or no? What is the exact type of list? That I don't know, because list is created at runtime. So compiler is not sure whether the list is of list of integer, it is the list of double. So according to this principle, writing operation is obviously prohibited. Why prohibited? Because destination type don't know. Because destination type, exactly no information available. So the information that you are writing, it is compatible to actual object list or not, that we cannot guarantee it. If we allow this statement, then again, you may ultimately end up with the class cast exception. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So again, let me write down slightly into the elaboration. Reading operation is allowed. Why the reading operation is allowed? Because the value will be of number, value will be of number or of its subtype. Okay, point is clear. Writing operation is not allowed. Why exactly the writing operation is not allowed? Just try to understand. When I'm writing this statement, after this statement, when I'm writing this point, okay, everything looks okay, no problem. When I was going to perform the reading operation, then definitely reading operation is also okay. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now here I am asking one thing. If I'm talking about the list int and if I'm talking about the list num, then definitely both point to list of integer. Yes or no? Both point to same list of integer. Make sense, everyone? Or shall I draw the diagram? Oh, batch. Listen. If I'm creating initially a reference variable that is list of integer. So I think this is already known to you that reference variable is going to be created in the stack. Yes or no? This thing is known to you that reference variable is going to be created in the stack. Yes, it is. And if I'm talking about the actual object, then actual object is going to be created in the heap. Yes, it is. And if I'm talking about this memory location, then for this memory location, definitely here value is going to be 10, 15, 20, and 25. This is object available. So can I say this is object of list of integer type? This is first statement. When you are writing list question mark number num list equal to that one. So let's say this is the hash code of this memory location. The hash code is written here. And after performing this assignment, let me go step by step. Let me go step by step. Just onto the for the first 2 lines. Is that clear? Everybody agree with the diagram? List int is pointing to a list of integer. Its hash code is 8596. In the second assignment, list num is also pointing to the same object. Yes or no? Yes, it is. When list num is also pointing to the same object, so in this condition, two different reference variable are pointing to same object. When you are performing the reading operation, then definitely the reading operation is allowed because it is guaranteed that you are going to get value either of the number type or of the subtype. There is no problem. But when you are going to write information, at the time of writing, compiler will raise objection. And why exactly the compiler is going to raise objection? There is a very logical reason. Compiler says, if I'm talking about list of num, then it is a reference variable of list of number. It is pointing to some object, but exactly to which object it is pointing, I don't know. Yes or no? Because object is created at runtime. List num is pointing to object of actual which type. This information is not available to compiler. Yes or no? But list num is pointing to object of which type. This information is not available to compiler. Make sense? If the information is not available to compiler, and if compiler allow this information or compiler allow this writing, then two possibility can be there. If you are writing compatible value, writing is successful, no problem. Second point, if you are writing non-compatible value, then ultimately your program will crash with some class cast exception. Yes or no? Case number one, if you are writing compatible value, then no problem, your program will run. Case number two, by mistake, if you have written any incompatible value, then definitely your program will end up with the class cast exception. Make sense, everybody? Again, let me write. So if writing is allowed, then I'm talking about case number one. If information is of a compatible type, or if the information is compatible to object, then definitely your program will run smoothly. Okay. Then I'm talking about the case number two. Into the case number two, if the information is not compatible to object, then definitely program will crash with class cast exception. So according to you, again, which is better choice? Crash your program with class cast exception, or better to not to compile this statement, or better not to allow writing? Option number two is better. Which option is better? Option number one, let the program crash with class cast exception. Option number two, do not allow writing in case of covariance. Clear or not? Shall I summarize it once again? I think you are getting confused. Yes or no? Shall I once again summarize it? Okay. Again, see, the topic that I was discussing to you about the upper bound, or it is called covariance. If I'm talking about the covariance, then in the covariance, you are going to use this type of syntax, question mark extends, whatever be the type is. When you are writing question mark extends number, then definitely this syntax specify that this list can point to list of number or definitely list of any subtype. Simple. Question mark extends number, definitely this information will be available to runtime system also. Yes, it is. Perfect. Reading operation is allowed. Why exactly reading operation is allowed? Very simple. Why? Because it is guaranteed that you are going to get the information of number type or of its subtype. Let me come to the example. When I'm coming to example, I have created a list of integer. It is list int equal to arrays.slist. How many elements are there? There are total 4 elements are there. Okay. So into the heap, an object is created. The object is having 4 members. The address or the hash code is 8569. This hash code is going to assign to list int. Into the next statement, list question mark extends number. List num equal to list int. So definitely the list num is also pointing to same object. Two different reference variable pointing to same object. If you are writing list num dot get, then it is guaranteed that you are going to get an object of number class or of its subclass. So this is already written here. Yes or no? Till reading operation is clear? I am already telling the compiler that I am going to have the object of number or of its subclass. So there should be no problem in the reading. Make sense, everybody? Reading is allowed. Is that point clear to all? Reading is allowed. Is that point clear to all? Yes, it is. Now let me come to the second case when I'm talking about the writing. If I'm talking about the writing, so let's say if I am writing the first case, into the first case, for example, I am writing the value 100, and second case when I am writing the value 100.5. The problem is that if I'm talking about the data type of this object, then it is 100% reasonable to say that's a data type of object. This information is not available to the compiler because object is created at runtime. Make sense, everybody? What is the data type of reference variable? This information is available to the compiler because reference variable is created at compile time. But if I'm talking about this object, then what is the data type of this object? This information will not be available to the to the compiler. Clear it is? Type information about the reference variable is available to compiler, but type information about the object, this is not available to the compiler. Simple point is clear or not? Stuck, I think. Let me write down here. Type information about the reference variables, list int and list num. Type information about the reference variable list int and list available is available to compiler, but the type information about the object is not available to the compiler. Well, everybody, please read this line. Line number 77, read it very, very carefully. Second point, see, line number 77 is clear to everyone? Yes, it is. So now see, type information about the reference variable is available to the compiler. So when you are reading, there is no problem. But on the other hand, if you are writing, now compiler is having, let's say first choice, it allow you to write. If it allow you to write, can you guarantee that the information that you are writing and the type of object, they are compatible? Simple question I am asking you. Can your compiler guarantee that the information that you are writing and the type of object, they are compatible? No, compiler cannot guarantee. Now compiler is having two choices. First choice, if it allow writing. If it allow writing, and let's say that the value you are writing is compatible, then writing operation is successful, no problem. On the other hand, if you are writing some incompatible value, then ultimately it will cause an incompatible writing. It will cause a heap pollution. And in case of heap pollution, again, you will ultimately end up with the class cast exception. Now clear? Now you are having two choices. First, allow writing and let your program end with the class cast exception. Second choice, better to stop such kind of writing at the compile time. We are having contravariance if you wanted to perform writing. So which option is better, option 1 or option 2? That's good. Now I'm getting some responses. Topic is slightly lengthy, but it is not complicated. You must be aware of the fact when reference is created, when object is created, what is inheritance. Nothing is special into this topic. So first, why writing is not allowed? I think this point is clear for you. So better to stop writing. So everybody, whenever I am talking about the concept of covariance, so in case of covariance, always keep in mind one operation is allowed, and this operation is called read operation. One operation is allowed. This is called read operation. If you can remember this kind of diagram into your mind, that whenever we are talking about covariance, so covariance R is for read, then definitely things will be very easy for you. Is that okay? In case of covariance, you can go for the read operation. Shall I talk about the next case when I'm talking about the contravariance? Here actually your demand for writing will be fulfilled. Here your demand for writing will be fulfilled. So in case of covariance, reading operation is allowed, writing operation is not allowed. Entire explanation is given to you. Now let me talk about the next case. Let me talk about the next case. Let me delete this. Okay. Again, I'm creating one more list, and into this list, I'm writing this time question mark super. And after writing question mark super, I'm writing here number. I'm writing here number. So I'm writing here list num equal to. First of all, can you see the error message? Can you see red line? Yes, it is. And what exactly this red line is? This time, when I'm writing question mark super number, so I'm setting a lower bound. When I'm setting the lower bound, then definitely it can point to a list that is of number, or it can point to a list that is of super type of number. Now getting my point? Last time, see, go comparison by comparison. First case, if I'm writing question mark extends number, then it can point to list of type number or subtype of number. On the other hand, if I'm writing question mark super number, then it can point to list of type number or list of super type of number. Now clear? Getting my point? So now I hope it is understand why exactly extends is called upper bound and why exactly super is called lower bound. Because in case of extends, you are setting the top line. This is the maximum what you can point. But in case of super, you are setting the baseline. This is what minimum you can point. Getting my point? First point? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. So let me talk about the next case. Let me talk about the next case. Number and object it called, right? Okay, well, coming back to the discussion. Coming back to discussion. So if I'm writing super, so there is one more thing that I can do. Let me change the situation. While changing the situation, for example, if I'm writing this thing, then definitely. Right now, this part is working perfectly okay. Right now, this part is working perfectly okay. Then I'm writing here list, question mark, super. And if I'm writing here integer, then I'm writing here list int equal to list num. Please check any compile time error. Warning symbol is there, but I'm just asking any compile time error. No. So syntax is working perfect. Yes, it is. Syntax is working perfect. If I'm talking about the list int, using the list int, let me talk about adding one more element. The element that I'm adding is 3030. Any compile time error? No. So can I say in case of contravariance, I can perform the writing? Can I say in case of contravariance, I can perform the writing? Just for the sake of convenience, let me print detail of both. I have, I think, uncommented this line. Has I uncommented something? Let me check. Or it says that unsupported operation exception list covariance main exception in thread main. Just a 1 second, just a 1 second. So list int, I was adding the value 30. Just let me check what exactly the exception type is, where exactly exception type is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. It is non-modifiable list. It is non-modifiable list. So, okay, no problem. I'm creating the array list and using the collections class. Into the collections class, there is a method available, add all method. Into the add all method, I am talking about the list of numbers, and into the list of numbers, I can add the element. Now better. So everybody, can you see writing operation is perfectly okay? Can you see writing operation is perfectly okay? Yes, it is. But on the other hand, if I'm talking about this time for the reading operation, in case of reading operation, let's say that if I'm writing list of int get square bracket 0, list of square bracket 0. So just a second. I'm performing the reading operation, Alt Shift X J. So 1 minute. Into the list of integer, when I'm performing the add operation is working fine. But if I'm talking about the reading operation, for the reading operation, might be I have done something mistake. So let me check once this code. Let me check this code. Something I am making. See, list of number, list of num equal to new array list. Then here actually I am providing list of numbers. In the list of numbers, elements are 10, 15, 20, and 25. List of integer, I'm adding the element that is 30. When I added the element 30, the list is working perfectly okay. No problem, no problem, no problem. And finally, when I'm writing here listnum.get, and when I'm writing list int.get, in both cases, there is no problem. Well, one second. Copy. Let me come here. Let me come here once. Let me write down the explanation one by one. Okay. Oh. Statement number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Statement number 1, 2, 3, and 4. See here the very first point. If I'm talking about question mark extends super number, then definitely it is specified that this list can point to list of number or list of its super type. It can point to list of number or list of its super type. Okay, perfect, no problem. Second thing, if I'm writing question mark super number, then definitely this information will be available to runtime system also. Perfect. If I'm talking about the writing operation, then this time situation is different. Writing operation is perfectly allowed. Why exactly writing operation is allowed? Just try to understand one thing. See here. Initially, we are having list of number and I'm writing list of integer. When I'm writing here list of integer, then in case of list of integer, see, just better to draw the diagram. Better to draw the diagram. While drawing the diagram, list num is one reference variable. No, list one is one reference variable. Let me talk about 852996 is the hash code. Then I'm talking about heap. Into the heap, definitely it will create a object. And if I'm talking about this object, then definitely for this object, this is actually practically, we are writing initially list of numbers. For the list of numbers, I'm writing the hash code, it's 8596. So this is pointing. When I'm talking about the list of int, then in case of list of int, again, same diagram is going to be performed. Is that okay, everyone? The diagram clear to everyone? Is that diagram clear to everyone? Yes, it is. Now listen. See, using this list int, if I'm going to perform writing operation, think very, very carefully. Using the list int, if I'm going to perform the write operation, then it is guaranteed that I will write the object of integer type or its subtype. Yes or no? Let me write down the statement. Using list int, if writing is performed, then definitely object will be of type integer or of subtype. Make sense, everybody? Now read this statement. If you are going to write down the value using list int, then using the list int, compiler will check and compiler can make sure that whatever value you are writing, the value is going to be of integer type or of the subtype. Subtype. I'm not writing super type. I'm writing subtype. See, one second. If I'm talking about the type information, then definitely the type information about list num and list int. The type information about list num and int. It will be available. Yes or no? Agree or not? The type information about the list num and list int will be available to compiler. Yes, it is. But if I'm talking about the type information about object, then definitely the type information about object will not be available to compiler. Both statements okay? Written multiple times. Read this line, please. Read this line, please. Type information about list num and list int will be available to compiler because they are reference variable. But if I'm talking about the type information about the object they are pointing to, type information about object, it can be available to any compiler? No. Make sense? Type information about an object will not be available to compiler, but type information about reference variable will be available. Now focus on this concept. Using the list int, if I'm talking about the type of list int, then it is list of integer. Yes or no? Can I say it is going to be a list of integer? Yes or no? Okay. So compiler says list int refer to list of integer because it refer to list of integer. So definitely the value that you are writing, it will be of integer type or of its subtype. Yes or no? Think about the concept. Simple logic. List int is the list of integer type. So using list int, if you are writing the value 30, then definitely compiler will say that you are going to write down the value 30. You are going to write down the value of integer type or of its subtype. Let us do one more experiment. If I'm writing the value here, Masai, is it allowed? No. Why not allowed? Because of nobody, it is nowhere in the hierarchy. It is nowhere in the hierarchy. Let's see. If I'm writing the next case, when I am creating an object of object class, is that allowed? Is that allowed? No. So simple logic is there. If you are using the reference variable of integer, then using the reference variable of integer, you can write down the value of integer type or you can write down the value of subtype. Can you write down the value of super type? So why you are getting so much confused in this statement? I'm simple saying it defined the baseline. Baseline means if I'm talking about this list int can point to object of list of integer or any of the super type. This is one operation. But when it comes to writing, then the situation changes. Why the situation is changes? Because list int is a reference variable of, you can say, integer type. So using the reference variable of integer type, you can write down the value of integer type or of the subtype. Yes or no? Now makes sense? Yes, it is. So this is what I'm saying. List using the contravarious concept. If you are going to perform the writing, you can perform the writing, no problem. Why there is no problem? Because it is guaranteed. You are going to add the object of same type or you are going to add the object of subtype. So there is no problem. There is no problem. Now let me change the situation. Now let me change the situation. If you are going to perform the read operation, let's say using the list int, using the list int. If you are going to call the get method, you are talking about the index number 0. So in case of the index number 0, can I say one simple thing? That sir, list int is expecting that value should be of integer type. List int is expecting that value should be of integer type. But can you guarantee this thing? Can you guarantee this thing? No. So if you cannot guarantee this thing, so what will be the case? Option number 1, let the program crash with the class cast exception. Or option number 2, do not allow reading. Which one is better? Definitely do not allow reading. So whenever I am talking about the concept of contravariance, then in case of contravariance, keep in mind, reading is not allowed. In case of contravariance, reading is not allowed. Getting my point now? How this thing is taking place? You cannot guarantee what is the value exactly. That's why please do not bother about doing such blunders. So can you see right now into the list, I am having multiple different type of data. Right now into the list, I am having multiple type of data and using the list int.get method, if I'm calling, then practically I am going to get a value of double type, not of integer type, and it will ultimately lead to crashing of the program. So that's why. In case of covariance, reading is allowed, but when it comes to contravariance, then definitely in case of contravariance, writing is not allowed. Sorry, reading is not allowed. Now clear, everybody? So this is the overall case that I was discussing with you. So whenever you are talking about the next concept that is called contravariance concept. So in case of contravariance concept, definitely reading is not allowed. The only thing that allow is WRITE, means writing is something that you can allow there. See, how to read, how to read, how to read. Can you see W, R, I, T, and E? I think this kind of things many of the time save you from confusion. Is that okay? No. Okay, 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 okay. So notes are already shared to you for SB 101. Let me show you one more case also. I'm opening the Notion notes because one scholar is asking for one verification. Might be at some place I'm making some minor mistake, but let me show you. I was actually available in your SB 101 restructured by couple. And here actually day one content, into the day one content. Refer to the notes, everybody. All the pointers are written here very, very carefully. Let me write down the cases. Let me write down the case for you. First point, first point, first point. Same job I have done. Yeah, this one. Can you see the error message? Can you see the error message? Take a look at this example. I am not in any type of hurry. Now clear, everybody? Why this is not allowed? Okay. So finally, do you need summarization or it is okay? Do you need summarization or it is okay? Covariance, contravariance is okay. I think now you are comfortable. This document will be shared to you. Don't worry. This document will be shared to you. And today, actually, this topic almost consumed 2 hours. But once it is clear for you, then definitely you will never face any problem. You will never face. In the 3 parts, the topic was explained to you. Initially, we were talking about refiable type in case of array. Then we will talk about the second case. Into the second case, I was talking to you about the type eraser. And after the type eraser, then I was talking about the concept of covariance and contravariance. So this is how exactly we have done with this. Shall I go for the next topic, everyone? Shall I move to the next topic? Certainly. That's good. So first point, the common thing, a common experience, I'm telling you, it is almost happening in every batch. It is almost happening in every batch. See what is commonly happen to you. You are coming from J811. In J811, your assignments used to take place on OJ. And then finally, evaluation also takes place on the OJ. But personally, what I feel, many of the scholars, they clear J811. But because on the OJ platform, not too much amount of questions, or you can say that not too high level questions are available regarding collection framework, exception handling, interfaces, packages, abstract classes. High level questions are not there on the OJ. So people are able to clear J811. Theoretically, they are eligible for SB 101. But if I'm talking about the ground reality, then ground reality is certainly different. I hope you people are getting what I want to say. Yes or no? And recently, when I was teaching you this topic, then the way you were writing your doubt, the way some Q&A I receive, I come to know that J811 part is not very strong. That's why the opening day is not very pleasant for you. Maybe possible. Concept is easy, but if you are not good in J811, then definitely it's going to be slightly nightmare for you. Day one, topic contravariance, covariance. Now, how exactly the things will go on? Day number 1, it's first day. Students are having patience, and they are used to say, okay, I think things will improve in next 1 or 2 days. Day 1, slightly pressure, assignments, you may have clue, you may be clueless, possible. You may have clue, you may be clueless, but it is day number 1, you are slightly comfortable. Then it comes day number 2, pressure is piling up, It's day 2. It's the start of the block. Some of scholars say, okay, we can bear. We will cover everything. Day number 3, pressure is again piling up. Concepts are new. 30-40% understanding level is there. And then suddenly batch is turning furious. Lot of negative commenting is there, yet it doesn't matter, but negative comment is there. Then connect to EC is there, connect to CR is there, connect to so on is there. Ultimately, when we come across the root cause analysis, then in 85 to 95% cases, the root cause analysis says scholars are not very much comfortable with collection framework. They are not very much comfortable with exception handling. When it comes to what actually we can do for you in this situation, shall I teach JA111 again? Absolutely no. The only thing that we can do is in the IA stand-ups. Initially, only for first 2 IA stand-ups. I cannot relax you too much. Only for the first 2 IA stand-ups. Whatever doubts you are having related to collection framework and exception handling, you can ask from the stand-up number 3. Questions are there, things are there, everything is there of SB 101. You will not get chance to revise. So in the first 2 days, everybody, I am giving you one advice. You must be prepared with JA111 content. Exception handling is there. I'm repeating the topics: exception handling, collection framework, interfaces, abstract classes. These are the topics you must be comfortable with. Otherwise, the batch is going to be nightmare for you. And same thing is for interface also. So particularly if I'm talking about the content from day number 7 or 8 and onwards, this is something very important for you. I think on the day number 6 or 7, there was inheritance, if I'm not wrong. On the day number, I think 7, it was inheritance, if I'm not wrong. So from day number 7 and onwards, all the topics you have to cover. File operation, I'm not very much concerned with. File operation, I'm not very much concerned with, but you must be comfortable with abstract class, interface, exception handling, collection framework. These are the 4 topics that are vital for you. In absence of these topics, SB 101 is going to be extremely nightmare for you. So please be prepared. I'm setting a hard tone because this is required. Because this is required. Next topic. Next topic. Okay. I think, can I assume that everybody have used interfaces? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. So regarding the interfaces, if I'm talking about some of the pointers, then definitely some of the pointers are very, very easy. An interface is used to contain the abstract method. An interface can contain the default method as well as static method also. A static method is something that you cannot override. Default method is something that you can override according to your choice. But if you are not overriding, then definitely this is not an offense. Apart from that, interface is used to define the contract. Interface, a reference variable of interface can be created, but object cannot be created. A reference variable of interface can point to object of implementing class. Whenever an abstract method is called using interface reference variable, then calling takes place on the behalf of dynamic method dispatch. All these points you have already covered in JA111. Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's great. That's great. Possibly into the JA111, you might have listened about one more term that is called marker interface. Yes or no? Yes, it is. A marker interface is one that does not have any method. Like if I'm talking about the serializable, then serializable is a marker interface. You have done project. Still, I am getting very less responses, and getting very less responses shows how many projects are done in JA111. So let me talk about the next type of interface. The next type of interface is actually called functional interface. What exactly the meaning of functional interface is? A functional interface is one that has actually only one abstract method. It is having only one abstract method, only one. But if I'm talking about the number of default methods, if I'm talking about number of default method as well as if I'm talking about the static method, then definitely they can be any, or they can be any number of times. Third number, if I'm talking about the methods of object class, then definitely you can put any number of methods of object class, any number of method of object class. Okay. So let me write down one very simple case. Let me write down one very simple case. I'm going to create a, well, I think this file is already we have done with. So in notes. All content is already available. I'm going to reuse this file. See everyone, I'm going to create an interface. Name of the interface, let's say I'm writing intr1. Into the intr1, I'm talking about one method. Name of the method that I'm writing is say hello. About this method, can I say this method is public by default? Yes or no? Can I say this method is public by default? Yes, it is definitely. Whatever method you are defining an interface, they are public by default. Okay. Can I say this is an abstract method? Yes, it is. Public and abstract, both keywords are optional. If you are writing, then it is okay. If you are not writing, then there is no offense. Okay. Can I say right now this is a functional interface? Right now, can I say this is a functional interface? Take a look at the definition at the bottom of the notepad. Simple question. It is a functional interface. Yes, it is. Okay. Now I'm adding one method. The name of the method I'm writing is default void fun1. And into the default void fun1, I'm writing inside default fun1. Still, is that a functional interface? Yes, it is, because number of abstract method is only one. Then I'm writing one more method. Name of the method that I'm writing is static void fun2. When I'm writing static void fun2, so here I am writing static void fun2 system.out.println inside static fun2. Is that still a functional interface? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now let me talk about the method. If I'm adding the method boolean equals object O, is it still a functional interface? That's good. That's good. I'm getting mixed up responses, but yes, still it is a functional interface. Yes, still it is a functional interface. How this is a functional interface? Try to understand this thing. Let's say that if I'm talking about a class A, such that the class A implements intr1. If the class A implements intr1, so while at the time of implementation, what exactly I am doing? I'm providing the body of say hello method. When I'm providing the value of the say hello method, so here I'm writing hi, and then I'm writing plus name. I'm writing hi, and then I'm writing plus name. So simple question to you. I have not provided definition of equals method, but can I say that the definition of equals method is already available from the superclass object? Yes or no? For class A, that is implementing intr1 interface, I have provided definition of say hello method. But if I'm talking about the equals method, I have not provided definition of the equals method, but definition of equals method is directly coming from the superclass. Make sense, everybody? So definitely, if you are adding any method of object class in the functional interface, practically it does not affect property of the functional interface, because implementation of object class method is available to every class. This is the reason you can add any number of methods of object class in functional interface. So we can say that intr1 still it is a functional interface. Clear or not? intr1 is still a functional interface. Yes, it is. Okay. Now into the JA111 multiple time. I think you have used this annotation. Yes or no? Common. This annotation is used to tell the compiler that Mr. Compiler, please check the syntax. If syntax of my method and syntax of method in the superclass, is it same or not? If it is same, then everything is okay. If it is not same, then generate a compile time error. Remember this thing? Similarly, if you wanted to make sure that whether the interface is functional interface or not, for this thing, there is one annotation available. The name of the annotation is called @functional interface annotation. At the top of the interface, if you are adding @functional interface annotation, then you are asking Mr. Compiler, please check if this is a functional interface or not. If this is a functional interface, then everything is okay. If this is not a functional interface, then definitely you should raise a compile time error. So right now from the line number 3, It is verified that it's a functional interface. Yes or no? Got it? So functional interface is nothing but it's an interface that is having only one abstract method, that's all. Whatever additional it is having, forget it. This is not our job. Definitely you can perform inheritance also. So if I'm performing inheritance also, so let's say that I am writing this thing. Right now, can I say that if I'm talking about the INTR2, then INTR2 is functional interface also, because it is also having one abstract method such that the abstract method is coming from the super interface. Yes or no? Good one. And let's say that if I am adding one more method here, name of method that I'm writing is say hi. Can you see the error message? Red line. And if I'm taking my mouse on the red line, then definitely you can see there is a error message available, and the error message is telling you invalid @ functional interface annotation. INTR2 is not a functional interface. So getting everybody how this is working? Perfect. So annotations are very useful. Annotations are simply, you can say that they are to make your life very, very easy. I'm keeping this example as it is so that you can just remember that how it is working. Okay, I have written the implementation. After writing this implementation, see, normally whenever you are going to implement an interface, then definitely to implement an interface, we are using the implements keyword. When you are using implements keyword, so this is something you can call conventional approach. Yes, this is something that you can call conventional approach, and there is nothing wrong in the conventional approach, but we wanted to make the life very, very easy for everyone. We wanted to make the life very, very easy for everyone. How we are going to do? Just try to understand. Right now in this example, INTR1 and INTR2, both are functional interfaces. Implementation of INTR1 is provided here. You know it very well that a reference variable of the interface, a reference variable of the interface can point to object of implementing class. Yes, it can point to object of implementing class. Nothing wrong is there. Using this INTR, can I call the using this INTR, can I call the say hello method? Yes, we can call the say hello method. Into the say hello method, the value is going to be ABC. Let's say I'm writing. Let me try to run this code. Output I am getting, the output is hi ABC. So by looking at this example, can we say that functional interface is nothing special? They are the interfaces that is containing only one abstract method, and we can provide the implementation using the conventional method also. Clear or not? We can provide the implementation using the conventional method also. So far, you are not finding anything special in case of functional interface, and definitely nothing wrong in that. And definitely nothing wrong in that. Special. Okay. Next number point, next number point, next number point. If I'm talking about the equals method, then definitely you can call the equals method also. So for example, let's say I'm writing this dot equals INTR. So according to reflexive property, I will get the answer true. I will get the answer true. So this is the first example, very basic example. Here actually we just understand what exactly a functional interface is. What is the power? What is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? This is yet to discuss. Don't worry. So point number one, I am asking, now can you able to spot the functional interface in any program? Now will you be able to spot functional interface in any program? This is the only objective that I'm having. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. This is the first way of writing the implementation. This is the first way of writing the implementation. And according to this principle, if I'm asking to you about some of the interfaces that are very common. So let's say if I'm talking about the comparable interface. If I'm talking about the comparable interface, I'm referring to official documentation only. I'm in the habit of referring to official documentation always. Similarly, if I'm talking about comparable interface here, in the comparable interface, can you see from the list of method how many methods are there? How many methods are there in comparable? Only one. How many methods are available in, how many abstract methods are available in comparator, not default, not static. Right now only one. If I'm going on the downside, then equals method is of object class, because equals method is of object class, so do not count it. Rest all the methods are static or default. So accordingly, can I say that comparable comparator is also a functional interface? And if I'm talking about comparable, comparable is also a functional interface. Clear it is? Perfect. That's good. That's good. So now, first example is done. Functional interface is there. And one common thing that I'm asking you, so far you have used comparator, comparable for multiple number of times. Whenever we are talking about natural ordering, then definitely for the natural ordering, we used to talk about comparable interface. And whenever we are talking about custom ordering, then for the custom ordering, we used to talk about comparator interface. But very common thing you have seen that, sir, if we are talking about implementation of comparator interface, then you are creating a class that implements comparable interface, and you are using that class only for one time in your entire program. I think this has happened to everyone. Those who have done project, you are writing a class that implements comparator, you are writing the sorting logic, and after writing all that big class stuff, you comes to know that this is something that is to be useful only for one time, which actually makes slightly weird sense that how this is possible. Or isn't it better that we can have a better way? The answer is yes, we are having a better way, and we are going to discuss that better way. So if I'm talking about comparator, comparator is a functional interface. If you wanted to write down the implementation, then definitely conventional way is available to you. There is nothing wrong with the conventional way, but this way is not giving you a sense of exclusivity. This way is not giving you a sense that yes, this implementation is going to be used only at one place. This is giving you sense that you are going to use this implementation at multiple places. Do we are having a better solution? Yes, we are having a better solution. So for example, everybody, this example is already available into your Notion notes. Notion notes are already shared to you, and you can see I am normally used to go with the same example that are having in the notes. The notes are actually also prepared by me, so you will face no difficulty. If you wanted to write down a better implementation, then definitely there are two distinct approach I am going to discuss to you. The very first approach that I'm going to discuss with you is going to be anonymous inner class. The name itself is anonymous, so definitely anonymous means something that doesn't have any name. If I'm talking about the syntax of the anonymous inner class, then first you need to mention the interface name. After mentioning the interface name, then definitely you need to write down object name equal to new interface name. Now many of you will raise a concern. The concern is that, sir, how we can create an object of interface? This is not allowed. I will say yes, this is not allowed. Here what you need to write down, body of all abstract methods. Syntax I have written. It will be good to take example. Instead of interface name, I am writing intr1. Then here I am writing name of the object, that is intr equal to. Thereafter I am writing new keyword. After new keyword, I am mentioning name of the interface. Bracket open, bracket close, semicolon is there. Now I'm going to write down body of all abstract method. So I'm having only one abstract method. The name of the abstract method is public void say hello. Into the public void say hello, I'm writing system dot out dot println hello plus name. Step by step. Question number 1. Any compile time error? No. Line number 26 and line number 30. Syntax is matching 100%. Line number 26 and line number 30. Syntax is matching 100%. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. So definitely this implementation is okay. What exactly the situation is? Just try to understand. what exactly the situation is. Just try to understand. If I'm talking about this portion, the highlighted one, can you say, sir, this is very much like body of a class, like I have written earlier for the class A? Can I say the highlighted part only? It is very much like body of a class, like I have already written for class A in the previous example. Let me come here, let me come here, let me come here. If I'm writing the implementation of this class, so can you say that kind of same implementation if I'm talking about only this portion? Kind of same implementation. Yes, it is. So the highlighted portion itself is a class such that the class is not having any name. Is that clear? The highlighted portion itself is a class such that this portion or this entity does not have any name. And something that does not have any name, can I call it anonymous? Something that doesn't have any name, can we call it anonymous? And definitely this class is defined inside another class, or this class is going to be defined locally always. That's why can I say this is an anonymous inner class? Now makes sense how this is, the name is given. This is called anonymous inner class. Okay. One more thing that you know, whenever we are going to compile a program, then definitely separate class file is generated for interface and classes. Aware about this fact? Whenever you are going to compile a program, if not aware, then listen. In a program, if you are having 10 classes and interfaces, then for all the 10 classes and interfaces, separate class files will be generated. Separate class files will be generated. So once I'm doing right click, then there is one folder available show in System Explorer. Into the System Explorer, SB101 block number 25, bin is the folder that is used to contain the compiled file. Into the list of compiled file, how many files are there? 4. Okay. INTR1, it was an interface. INTR2, it was an interface. Co-contravariance demo, it was a class. But can you see there is one more class file generated? This one more class file actually belong to anonymous inner class. This one more class file actually belong to anonymous inner class. And how exactly naming is done? Naming convention is outer class name, dollar symbol, then 1. For the next anonymous inner class, it will be outer class name, dollar symbol 2. For next, it will be outer anonymous inner class name, dollar symbol 3. Convention is clear? How anonymous inner class file is named? Yes or no? Compiler is generating this name. Name is always outer class name, dollar, then definitely 1. So for this highlighted portion, the class file is generated. The name of the class file is co-contravariance demo $1. If I'm going to write down one more implementation, okay, let me write down one more implementation. Let me write down one more implementation. If I'm talking about one more implementation in this case, for example, let me write down INTR2, or let me write down ANO INTR, another INTR. And here I'm writing hi, and then I'm writing name. Saving this file, coming here. How many classes are there, everyone? How many dot class files are there? 5 it is. So 3 you can spot, INTR1, INTR2, and co-contravariance demo is what you can spot. But you can see that I have created 2 different anonymous inner classes. So for the 2 different anonymous inner classes, 2 different class files are generated, and their naming is outer class name $1, $2. Now is it clear? Yes. So you can write down the implementation in both the manner. You can write down conventional implementation also. You can write down the implementation using anonymous inner class also. When you are writing conventional implementation using the implements keyword, then writing using the conventional implementations is mainly helpful when you wanted to use the same implementation at multiple places. Clear it is? This conventional way of writing the implementation is helpful when you wanted to use this implementation at multiple places. But on the other hand, if you wanted to use the implementation locally, or if you wanted to use the implementation only at a particular place, then definitely use of anonymous inner class is a better choice. Yes or no? Because it will not confuse any other developer. No documentation will be generated, no class details will be there. So practically you are actually generating less documentation, you are using the things locally. Okay, everyone. So this is one thing that we have provided. Now from this, if you wanted to call the say hello method, I am calling the say hello method. So let me write down the name. The name is going to be Vikas. Thereafter, for the intr, another intr, let me call it again. And this time I'm calling the method. The name of the method that I'm going to give you is called, let's say this time I'm giving the name Prithvi. Okay. Alt Shift X J. So by looking at the output, hello Vikas, can I say in the first case, we are talking about the first implementation of anonymous inner class, but in the second case, we are talking about second implementation of anonymous inner class. Is that okay, everyone? How anonymous inner class is working? You can call other methods also. You can call other methods also. Nobody is going to stop you. Now one more thing. Anonymous inner class can be used for the implementation of any type of interface. Anonymous inner class can be used for any type of interface. Means if you are having a functional interface or if you are having a normal interface, for both the cases, anonymous inner class is applicable. Getting my point, everyone? This is one doubt that I'm receiving multiple times on chat. I think this is clear now. Yes, it is. That's good. That's good. That's good. So till now, we have done with the anonymous inner class. This is anonymous inner class implementation is available. Those who have gone through the Notion notes, those who have gone through this, they have find how exactly the implementation can be done. Same thing is there. Don't worry. Same thing is there. The third thing is available that is called Lambda expression, which is actually agenda of today. So now I'm asking you, is it sufficient for today or shall I start Lambda expression? Option number 1 sufficient. Option number 2, start Lambda expression. My God, you are responding in such a high speed. Even you did not respond for my good morning message in this manner. Within a period of some 20 seconds, I have received, I think, more than 60-70 responses. Otherwise, I used to say yes or no, yes or no. This time I'm getting more responses. So, well, majority is saying that, sir, please start from tomorrow. Today we are already getting overheated, I think. It's okay. This is day 1. So I'm going by your choice. Everyone, assignment will be shared to you. And on the LMS platform, in the lecture link, feedback form is available there. Quiz is available there. We would love to listen constructive feedback from your side. Please go and fill the feedback form. Once you have done with the feedback form, then you are free to leave the meeting. Anand, Avinash, Anand and Shishir, do you have anything to share?
I have only one thing to share, I have already given the assignment of concept explainer. So please go for it. Or as you already know, like I asked in the beginning, like most of you replied in yes. So please go for the concept explainer assignment as it is very important. Nothing to share from my side. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
The feedback form, and after filling your feedback form, please write 1 on chat. After filling the feedback form, please write 1 on chat. It's better to turn off the recording.